This is Kulfi. He was abandoned in that area because a vet was certain that he had rabies and insisted that he should be removed. The vet claimed the virus was highly contagious and could spread to both humans and other cats, leading to death. As a result, the person who had rescued him left him there, believing they had no other choice. But when the kind boy who had been feeding Kulfi and many other stray kitties returned from his trip to another city, he noticed that Kulfi was missing. Concerned, he searched the area and eventually found out what had happened. He listened to the whole story about the vet's claim of rabies and the reason Kulfi was abandoned. Realizing that Kulfi had not eaten anything for 2 days, he immediately provided him with food. After feeding him, the boy decided to rescue Kulfi and take him home. He then brought him to a vet for a proper checkup to ensure his health and safety. After undergoing tests, Kulfi was diagnosed with Neuro FIP, seizures, and epilepsy. It was not an easy situation for the boy who had rescued him, but he was determined to help Kulfi recover. He kept him in his home, providing proper food and care, while searching for a suitable shelter for him. After contacting many shelters, he finally reached out to us at House of Paws Shelter Cat, Eyes Rescue. As soon as he contacted us, we immediately agreed to take Kulfi in. That kind boy took excellent care of Kulfi, ensuring he had good food and the best possible care. Despite the challenges, he remained dedicated to Kulfi's well-being, doing everything he could to help him recover. He made sure Kulfi was never alone, comforting him whenever he had seizures and making sure he felt safe. However, he knew that Kulfi needed a permanent place where he could receive continuous medical care and attention. Determined to find the best for him, he reached out to shelters, hoping someone would accept Kulfi despite his condition. After many failed attempts, he finally found hope when we at House of Paws Shelter agreed to take Kulfi in. But the journey wasn't over yet. Since Kulfi was in another city, arranging transportation was a huge challenge. The boy didn't give up. He did everything he could to ensure Kulfi's safe transfer. Finally, after hours of effort and planning, Kulfi was on his way to us. It was a long and exhausting 6-hour journey, but Kulfi remained strong. When he finally arrived at our shelter, he was tired, yet safe. He had traveled through uncertainty, from being abandoned to being rescued, and now he was finally home, surrounded by people who would love and care for him just as he deserved. His journey had been painful, but now he had a new beginning. Kulfi was very depressed and scared when he arrived at our shelter. The trauma of his past, combined with his non-stop seizures, made him extremely anxious. His little body had already endured so much, being abandoned, starving for days, and then traveling for hours to reach us. Now in a completely new place, surrounded by unfamiliar faces and scents, he seemed lost and overwhelmed. We tried our best to comfort him, speaking to him gently, offering him warm food, and giving him a safe space to rest. But because of his seizures, calming him wasn't easy. Every time he had an episode, his body shook uncontrollably, and we could see the fear in his eyes. It was heartbreaking to watch him struggle, not knowing how to explain to him that he was finally safe. At the same time, Kulfi was confused and surprised by his new surroundings. He had never been in a place like this before, a shelter filled with love and kindness, where he had so many kitty friends around him. Some were curious about him, coming closer to sniff and observe, while others simply watched from a distance. Kulfi, unsure of everything, took his time to adjust. His eyes, once filled with sadness and uncertainty, slowly started to show glimpses of hope. It wasn't an easy transition, but we knew that with love, patience, and proper care, Kulfi would soon understand that he was finally home, a place where he would never be abandoned again. We offered food to Kulfi, but he refused to eat. His shaky body wouldn't even allow him to lick his treat. To help him, we gently held him by the scruff area, which helped relax his body and reduce the shaking slightly. With great care, we started feeding him little by little, making sure he was comfortable. Since he had just arrived after a long and exhausting journey, it was important for him to regain his strength. We knew he needed food, but more than that, he needed love, patience, and reassurance that he was safe now. At first he seemed hesitant, his eyes filled with confusion and fear. But as we continued to feed him gently, he slowly began to accept the food. It was heartbreaking to see him struggle, yet inspiring to witness his resilience. We whispered soft words to him, hoping he would feel comforted by our presence. He was no longer alone. He had people who truly cared for him now. Each small bite he took was a step toward recovery, and we were determined to help him heal, no matter how long it took. After that, we offered him food, but the poor guy couldn't eat or drink without help. It broke my heart to see him struggle. I gently held him and helped him eat, hoping he would feel a little better. He had non-stop seizures, and I monitored him the whole night. He wasn't able to sleep for even a minute. I couldn't imagine how many sleepless nights he had suffered before coming to us. Watching him struggle like this made my heart cry. He was so weak, yet he was fighting so hard to stay strong. We decided to take him to the vet because we were not sure about his diagnosis. Some people said it could be a case of poisoning, while others suspected a neurological issue. We didn't want to take any risks, so we decided to run a few more tests to find out the exact reason behind his condition. All we wanted was to help him feel better and give him the chance to live a happy and pain-free life. After a few more tests, we found out that it was not a case of poisoning or rabies. It was simply a neurological issue, and it might have been due to Neuro FIP. This was a small relief, but at the same time, it was still a serious condition that needed urgent care. Since nothing was helping Kulfi's seizures, we decided to seek advice from experts. We sent his reports to different vets in the US and UK, hoping to find the best possible treatment for him. Finally, a vet from the US responded and started guiding us on how to manage Kulfi's condition. It gave us hope that there was still a chance to control his seizures and improve his life. We were ready to do whatever it took to help him, no matter how difficult the journey would be. Kulfi had already suffered so much, and we wanted to give him the care and love he truly deserved. His eyes are truly beautiful, deep, expressive, and full of emotions. Even in his weakest moments, they shine with hope, as if he knows he is finally in safe hands. Kulfi isn't just any kitty. He is breathtakingly handsome. His soft fur, his delicate features, and the way he looks at you with pure innocence make him impossible to ignore. Despite everything he has been through, there is a quiet strength in his gaze, as if he is holding on, believing in the love he is finally receiving. His face is so charming that every time I look at him, I can't help but fall in love with him even more. He is not just a cat. He is a fighter, a survivor, and a soul that deserves nothing but love and care. After starting GS twice daily, along with seizure pills, syrups, and injections, he slowly began to show little improvements, step by step. The first sign of progress was that he started eating, though he was still very shaky. It was heartbreaking to see him struggle, but knowing that he was finally getting food in his body gave me hope. The most upsetting thing was that he couldn't sleep. No matter how exhausted he was, his body wouldn't let him rest. But even though he wasn't sleeping, he was eating a good amount of food, which gave me a little relief. His beautiful face, full of innocence and pain, was so appealing that I couldn't stop myself from loving him more and more each day. Today marks the third day of his treatment, and he is doing so well. He has started fighting for his food, something he couldn't even imagine doing just a few days ago. His spirit is strong, and he is trying his best to hold on. Finally, after a whole week of suffering, today he is sleeping. It's not a deep sleep, but it's still sleep, and for him, that is a huge step forward. Seeing him rest, even for a little while, makes me so happy. His journey is still very long, and I know there will be many challenges ahead. The FIP treatment is 84 days long, and with his seizure medication, his road to recovery won't be easy. But he is getting the best care he deserves, and I will do everything in my power to make sure he gets through this. I need your support because Kulfi's fight is not just his, it's ours. He has suffered enough, and now he deserves nothing but love, care, and a chance to live the happy life he was always meant to have. And finally, today, after over a week of sleepless nights, he is sleeping. What a beautiful moment this is. Please keep Kulfi in your prayers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and watch our videos to support our babies for free.